Well, guys, spring is upon us, and in just 4 short weeks, I'm gonna be headed down to South Carolina to kick off another spring gobbler season, and I'm really amped up about it. If you know me, you know that I just live for this time of year, and I just cannot say enough about how excited I am to get out there and get after some gobblers. And so today I'm going to be kind of tuning you in on a hunt from last spring, spring 2023, with a friend of mine. And we went out there on a little piece of property we got, and late season hunt, and everything just lined up just perfectly. The key factor here was just that I like to say that gobbler was right for the picking, and we got in there and had some early morning success on them. And so tune into the hunt and be sure and hit that subscribe button. That way you can get all the content I'm going to be putting out there. And good luck this season. Can't wait. So guys, as a turkey hunter in general, one thing you want to hear is a gobbler responding to your call. And when he fires off and responds to a tree yelp like he did right there, that is one of the most confidence building things that you can hear right there as the sun's coming up in the morning. And you know, you give him those first couple little yelps and he hammers back at you. I mean, your confidence just goes through the roof, because you know that he said, hey, I hear you over there. Now, once this old boy got fired up, he started hammering pretty good, and he would, you know, if a crow kicked off, he would respond to that. And so I didn't hammer down on him too much. I didn't want to overcall to him, because he seemed hot, and he answered on the tree yelps. He was a little hesitant at first on them tree yelps, but then he started firing up at some some calls that I was giving him, and so I felt like we were cooking with something then. So. So now if you listen real close, you can hear a hen back in the background, and she was back behind us and didn't know she was in there at first. We probably walked in, like probably slipped in there up under her while she was roosted, and she started yelping after, you know, shortly after the sun started coming up, and he would hammer back at her and then gobble at us. And that is what I like to call a hot seat right there. If you get between a gobbler that's roosted and a hen that's you know, he's used to, like what I like to call his girlfriend, then you were in a prime position right there. And you give her a little bit of competition, and very likely he's gonna come over there and check you out. And so we were in that spot, we were in the hot seat, and it worked out good for us, as you're gonna see in a second. So right here, this old gobbler pitches off that limb, and it gets really exciting now because you can hear those wings like crashing and hitting other limbs as he's flying off a roost, and it just starts getting really exciting at that moment because you know something's about to happen. Now, right about now, I don't know what this gobbler was doing, but if you watch him real closely, you can tell that it looks like he was enjoying himself. So. And I wish he would have, or I wish Alan would have given him a little bit more time to kind of do his thing and give me a little bit more footage. But you know, in those moments, you got to do what you got to do.
Got him. Well, boys, that's how it's supposed to go. He looked like a good one. Right there, bud.
Deal.
That was awesome. Did you see him come out and do that little?
I couldn't let him go any further.
Me and old Alan here, we've hunted a lot together, and we've been on a lot of birds this year. And we knew where this bird was roosting, and we had a plan this morning, and it worked. And we love when a plan comes together. Well, guys, this is the way it's supposed to go down. We got in here this morning, and this bird here, he was running with another bird for about the first couple of weeks of season. And all along this back, there's a big swamp that runs basically north and south here. And he's kind of mixed up a lot of where he roosted. Like we'd come in here one morning and he'd be, 200-300 yards down this way. Not so much that way. I think earlier part of the season, they were kind of, getting up in that block in the mornings, or in the evenings, and then would be up that way. But, we felt pretty certain he was liking this little section right here. And he roosted here yesterday, and Alan come in here and had him, about like 70, 80 yards or so. And felt pretty good that, like, if he was going to be there, that we could get him to close that distance. And man, we came in here this morning, and it was like a beautiful morning. A little bit of rain when we were coming in, a little bit worried. I didn't expect any rain, but it cleared right up. And he started gobbling early. Gave him some tree yelps, as you probably heard, and he wasn't super responsive on that, so I was a little worried. He answered one time on a tree yelp, and then probably, I don't know, not 15 minutes before he flew down, a hen cranked up. And at first it was hard for me to pinpoint. I couldn't tell if she was down in the swamp more, but then the second time she did it, I was like, well, she's behind us. And you probably heard me on the video. I said, I said, that's good, because we were in between both of them. So I threw out some tree yelps, and then he started answering my yelps at that point, and I knew, I said, we're on to some money right now. And it wasn't long, we heard him pitch down, and the rest is, you've already seen it. He come up and just beautiful. I think I got some pretty good footage. Can't wait to get it on the big screen and be able to watch it. And so just a beautiful morning, and this is what it's all about right here, getting out here and seeing these guys do their little thing, and just getting close to them. It's nothing like it. So what you think about that, Alan?
Monkey off the back.
Yeah, buddy.
That's right.
Good shooting, man. He went down. I wish you'd let him dance a little bit for me, but I know how that goes.
I've had him in front of me all season, just haven't been able to pull the trigger, and
That's right.
I couldn't take that chance, and it was good, and so I took it.
Well, one thing I emphasize all the time in this channel, what I guess the crux of what I do on this channel is to make us all better turkey hunters. And one thing that I always emphasize is when you have a shot, you take it. It's I understand sometimes if you're waiting on video, and like I get a little bit hungry for that, but at the same time, if you hunt with me long enough, or if you watch my videos, you'll find that when I get that shot, I don't let it go by, because you know how quickly it can slip through your fingers. I was telling somebody just yesterday about a turkey one time. I was out in the woods, and he'd do that little thing where he'd strut, he'd strut up, and every time he'd get about 5 yards closer. And so I'm like, okay, that's about 70 yards, and then next time I'd see him, he'd be a little bit closer. So each time I'm thinking he's getting closer and closer, and I was in some thick woods, kind of like these pines here. And so I was like, well, this next time around, he's going to be at about 35. So I said, I'm going to smoke his tail. And that was the last time I saw him. And I said, well, I could have probably got him. But, you always got to use your best judgment and know your gun. That's why it's very important to be shooting these things prior to season and knowing what that thing will do. Because if you've been tuning in to me long enough, then you know this guy last year.
Don't go with a new gun.
That's true, too. But last year about this time, well, no, it was early season,
yeah,
but probably about 600-700 yards from here, we had the opportunity to double, and Alan, put a car payment out there and TSS across the field, trying to get on one. So, but beautiful morning, nice long beard. Let's check him out. Look at that beard, a thick rope. I think he was one of the boss toms around here, because he was definitely, no, he's definitely got 1 inch. I think he's a 3-year-old bird. Looks like he might be a little run down from chasing the ladies, but
it was nice to see him strutting yesterday when he flew down, and he just kind of pecking around, whole redhead.
Yeah,
flew down this morning, was instantly, as soon as he hit the ground, his head was white, went right to strutting.
I thought I heard him on the limb, drumming a little bit when
I thought maybe
day
I
was
heard
breaking.
a little bit,
but I didn't want to be
not
too
tuned to that as you are.
Well, I didn't want to be too, I guess too amped up and get my mind. Sometimes you start thinking you're hearing things.
Yep.
But when he broke the silence, buddy, I knew. I said, we might be on to something this morning.
That's right. I'm glad you didn't carry a gun.
Yeah, well,
You might have shot him.
Oh, well, I'll shoot his ass. But I'm done in Virginia, but I'll be headed out to Maryland next week to hopefully I can keep rocking and rolling. Good
Awesome.
job, buddy.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
It's always a pleasure.